Hello guys, so in this video we will be going to see how we can deploy an Flask application that have both front-end and back-end on AWS Lambda. Okay, so I already have a video to deploy Flask application just only back-end onto AWS Lambda, but I think people also wanted to deploy front-end as well, so I would be creating this video. Okay, so what I have done till now, I have settled up an Flask application that has a front end and back end as well, and the application looks like something like this, like on the screen. It just have a basic form to connect with me. Although backend is not working properly, so the example would be I can just enter any name, then after I can enter any email, and then after hello world. Okay, just a message, and if I click on send message, it says thank you for your message test. Okay, and then after it says basically total X people visited us today. Okay, so it is just for the just for the reference perspective. Okay, so if I show you code here, like it's an again basic application, so I'm running it here, right? The first landing page is sort of contact with me, and I am rendering contact.html page, which is here. And kind of I also we have those two photos basically on this page, some css here, and on the next page we again have a photo, right? So I think that's the main around the application. Now we will be going to see how we can deploy it on the AWS Lambda. Okay, so what we are going to do first is I would give you a brief context, like what library we are going to use. Then after we would be going to create a lambda function, and then after we'll see these steps. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will be going to utilize this AWS-WSGI library, which is kind of help us to deploy this Flask application onto AWS Lambda. What it says is basically, let's say you have a Flask application, you just need to use this def lambda handler, and inside this lambda handler function you can bind your application Flask application inside the AWS-response. Okay, so what it going to do, it will going to uh, kind of convert the request coming from the API gateway to the format required by the Flask application. Okay, so here I will go. So what I will do first, I will going to create a new function, name it as an Flask app. Okay, then after choose runtime as an Python 3.11, and then after I think keep all the configuration as default, and then after create it. Okay, in the second step, if you see, like we are using some libraries, right, this Flask, and we have to use this AWS-WSJ as well, which is out of the box, not available on AWS Lambda environment. Okay, so to have this, so that we can use those two libraries, what we need is we have to create a layer basically, right? So what we will do, layer is basically is just a way to provide, I mean where you can upload those libraries, right? So I will going to create a new layer, name it as in Flask. I think description you can I think just optional field, then we have to upload a zip file. So now we would be going to see how we can create those layer basically. Okay, so what I am like I am inside the same project folder inside my Flask app basically, and I am going to create a new folder with name Python. Okay, make sure you create folder with the same name. Okay, then after, in the next step, you have to open an command terminal inside the same directory. Okay, inside the Python folder only, and then after you are going to install the libraries which you need on AWS Lambda. Okay, so I will need Flask, so I will install it, pip install Flask. So I will just install this Flask. Make sure you add -t and dot at the end. Okay, so that it will going to install it in the same library, I mean in the same directory, right? So it is kind of installing, so it will not take I think much time. It's a very quick and fast process, I will say. Once it is done, we have to install AWS-WSGI as well, right? So what I will do, I will quickly go here, right, and just copy this, and then after cut it, and again -t dot, right? Yeah, so once this is done, I think we can close this terminal box, this terminal. This is not required now. So now if you see, go inside the Python, we have all the libraries, right? So now in the next step, what we will do, we will just compress to zip file. Okay, and again we are going to upload this zip file to lambda function, right, to lambda layer basically. So here I am, then after I will come here, just use this and upload this python.zip, right. So here we can select, I think, Python as the runtime which is supported, and I think compatible architecture are both, so just create it. Okay, so I will quickly show you, like if I just add import Flask here, okay, and just save it, deploy it, and test it, just test event, save, and again test, click on text. So now you can see we are getting the error, no module name Flask. But I think as soon as this layer is created, what we will do, we will just copy the ARN, right. Then after scroll down, we have to add a layer. Inside the layer we can specify ARN, just click on verify, and then after click on add. Once this is done, I think we can, I think those error would not be there, right, that last time we got. So if I again try to run it, just click on test. So hello from Lambda, right. So this time this import Flask work very well. Okay, so now in this way we have kind of, till now we have added libraries AWS-WSCI and Flask as well. Okay, so now we have to upload this code to AWS Lambda function. Okay, so I will again come back here. We don't need this python.zip file. I think I will delete this, so that the code folder would be, I think I will just come back from here. I will try it. Okay, so now we have, what we have to do, you have to just zip your project file completely, and then after you have to upload it to the AWS Lambda function, right. So I am zipping it. So now we can upload this project.zip to Lambda function, right. So I will come here, I will be going to select this. My bad, not sure why it is upload from zip file. Yeah, so now I am uploading this project.zip file. Okay, so it's a quite heavy. The reason being is, I think we do have some pictures as well, so that's the reason. It is quite heavy, 1.93 MB, but definitely I think we would be going to give the solution to reduce it as well. Okay, so now what you can see, now we have the complete project as well, with the same name, right, with Flask name, static folder, templates, app.py file, and all those things, right. So now what we have to do, we will be going a kind of, not sure why it is hanged, I think, yeah. So now what we are going to do, it is so small. Okay, I think there is some sort of issue, not sure why is it. Might be. Okay, I actually, this box used to, like, is quite big in as of now, like it is very small, so that's how I am getting confused. So what we have to do, we will just going to comment it. That's the first thing. Second, we would come here, we are going to import AWS-WSCI. Okay, we have imported it. Then after, what we have to do, we have to use this, right. So again I would come here and then just paste it. Okay, so now if I saved it, deploy it. Okay, in the next step, what we have to do, we have to change the this handler function basically. Okay, so previously the file name is lambda function and the method name is lambda handler, but now you can see the file name is app.py and function handler name is again lambda handler. Okay, so what I will do, I will just edit it, just changes to app.lambda handler. Okay, so now it will going to work. Okay, so now we have set it up our lambda function and the lambda layer, but the now question comes, how we are going to use it. Okay, so for that perspective we need API gateway, right. So to create API gateway, we would be going to API gateway console, and there we are going to create a new REST API gateway. Okay, so first I think it is going to ask us, like, what API gateway do we need, REST API, HTTP API, or WebSocket. So we are going to create REST API. So REST API is just simply provide some great features. So that's the reason. So new API, again I am naming it as an Flask API, and create it. Okay, So if you see it here, what I will do, we have to create a resource, and in that resource we are going to use the proxy resource. Okay, so what is proxy resource is basically, so let's say your Flask application have 10 routes, and you have to create, the one way is you have to create those 10 routes individually one by one inside the API gateway, and another way is you can create a single proxy route which basically tells API gateway to whatever path, whatever request path you are getting, just redirect this path to the Flask application or to this AWS Lambda function. Okay, so that's the reason we are going to use the proxy route, so that we don't need to define multiple routes here. Okay, then after just use proxy plus, and then after we have to redirect this request to edit integration to the Lambda function Flask app, and then after just save it. Okay, once this is done, I think we are going to deploy this API. New stage, choose the stage as a dev and deploy it. Okay, okay, so now this is kind of done. If I choose the endpoint, so we don't have, I think, okay, so sorry, my bad. So stages is here. Okay, what I will do, I will just copy it and paste it and just enter it. So it says basically it missing authentication token. The reason being is we have not added slash, I think. No, we have added slash. I think what's the issue? So we have added, okay, so sorry, my bad. I think we have to add a method as well inside it, which is again, and I think proxy integration, so that like it is started to work. I will explain you once this is going to work, right? So select a method, so any request, and just create it. So this method is done. Again, I think we have to Lambda integration is already there, so we have to deploy this API. Choose this stage as a tab. I refresh it. It still says, I think, missing authentication token. So what could be the issue? Okay, so now it is started to work. Sorry, my bad, it takes a little time. Okay, so what's the issue is, if you just like create a simple resource only, okay, so in that perspective only slash route is going to work. But if we wanted to get work all those sub routes as well, basically slash xyz slash x whatever path it is, right? So in that case we have to add a method as well. Okay, so that's the perspective of adding a method. Okay, so make sure we have, like, first is we have to create a resource, choose any, create proxy route, and then after put just Lambda integration, and again create a method with proxy integration only. Okay, so that's how it works going to. Okay, so now you can see it is started to work. The only issue is, like, if I just type it test @gmail.com, and then after hello what. Okay, so if I just click on send message, so it says forbidden. Okay, the reason being is it is migrating to slash visitor path, right? So but if in case of API gateway, it should be with the kind of the API gateway URL, then after slash dev, which is the gate, I mean the stage name, and then after the exact path. So that's the issue, it is not working. So for that we have to modify it a little bit. Okay, second issue is, what issue we are getting is, you can see we are not getting the images. Okay, the reason being is it is not able to fetch images from the static folder, right? So the reason again the same, the photo is available at this slash static, I mean this complete path, and then after slash static, while if you see it, the logo path we would be getting is slash static slash logo.png. Okay, it is not. Now you can see like slash dev is missing from it here, right? This complete path, you can see https something started with 1uszx, it is missing slash dev. Okay, so that's the issue, right? So to solve those two problems, what we are going to do, we are going to upload all the static data to S3 bucket. The reason would be it would be quicker and fast for you to get the data from S3 rather than getting data from Lambda function, and it would cost you much cheaper as well if you get this data from Flask, I mean from the S3 bucket. So what we will do, we are going to create a new bucket. You can choose any name as you want. Just for now I have created a new bucket with name Flask app asset bucket. Okay, and in that, what we are going to do, we are going to upload all those three files whatever we need. Okay, so we just come here, click on upload, and then after we are just going to upload it. Not sure why it is not supporting drag and drop feature. So now here you can see I am uploading those all three files. Yeah, so now those three files are uploaded successfully, but you can see like as of now, if I try to access those files, right, with this object URL, I would not be able to access it. The reason being is, the as of now this is like this is a private bucket, and nobody can access this. Okay, so to give it permission, what we are going to do, we are going to make this S3 bucket as an public. Okay, so for that perspective, what we have to do, we have to go inside the permission section. We have to click disable this all the public access. So I mean, so kind of we are allowing it. Save changes, confirm. So that's the first thing. Second, we have to add a bucket policy to make it fully public, right? So I will quickly open notepad file. I have that already written in policy. So here is the policy. I'm just copying it, going to paste it. So this policy is basically is to make this bucket public only. So you can replace your bucket name here. Okay, and then after you're just going to save it. Okay, so if you see now, if I go here and try to access this file, this would be, I am able to open it. Okay, so now that's the path. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to go all wherever we are using the static path, and we have to change that file name. Okay, so what I will do, I will just search for static. So we have to change, we have to add path for logo file, right? So I will go here, we can copy this logo.png and just add it. That's the one thing. Then after, we have to add path for bg copy. So I will again go back here, bg copy.jpg, just copy it. Going to replace this bg.copy.jpg, and then after, if I again see static, there is no static thing here. Okay, so we have stars.jpg. Come back here, stars, just copy it and just paste it. Okay, so save it. Then after, if I again rerun this, stop and rerun, and again I come back here on my local system. So ideally this should get, yes, so I think this is getting open. And now if I just show you quickly like from where it is coming, so it is coming from this https, I mean from the S3 website. Okay, so in this way basically we have verified like this S3 bucket is working fine. So now we have to upload this path, this complete project folder again to AWS Lambda. Okay, so before that, I think we can again set path as well. Like if you see what we have done is like again on this contact.html, if I go here inside the contact.html, what we are basically doing is, okay, so we are kind of referencing, once all those things are done, we are going to go to the slash visitor space. That's the issue, right? The reason being is AWS API gateway doesn't know slash visitor, it knows slash dev slash visitor, right? So for that perspective, I think we have to change it a little bit. We have to play with it a little bit. So what I will do, I will basically, we are first going to set this fix this image loading issue, and then after we will again play with this. Okay, so I will just going to rename it project.zip. Just came, I think, to here, Flask app, upload from zip file, and then after save it. Okay, so cancel it. Maybe what I will do, we don't need this static as well, right? So I will just dot idea. We don't need venv. We don't know this v. So app.zip only we need. Okay, so it has changed it. Upload from zip file. So this time it is very small, right? 3.42 KB only. So that's the advantage of separating out those heavy images as well to the I mean to S3 bucket, right? Okay, so my bad, actually we have missed to uh, I think that AWS-WSGI code is removed. So what I will do, I will just quickly add that code as well, right? So we have to import, that's the first thing, and then we have to just copy this as well, right? So if I copy this, just paste it and deploy it. Okay, now we are again going to hit this ideally this should work this time, this API gateway URL, right? So if I go here, yeah, so this is deployed. Now if I refresh it, yeah, so now you can see we are able to upload the images at least, right? This has started to work. Okay, so if you want it, see, if you see, like, it takes a little time to upload, to fetch the images first time, right? So maybe if you wanted to make make it a little better, or you wanted to make the user experience a little better, what you can do, you can just add an CloudFront in front of this S3 website, and then after just use the CloudFront URL inside your application. Okay, this would make the loading time of those images very fast and very quicker. Okay, so that's kind of one improvement. I'm not going to do it. Maybe if you want, you can do it, right? Second point, I think the issue we are getting is, if I think I just enter a name, let's say AWS MasterChef, okay, and then after I think email, test@gmail.com, and then after hello world. So if I click on send message, so it says forbidden. The reason being is, on clicking of send message, actually we have to redirect this request to some different button, right? Send message. So for that, what we have to do is, let me quickly show you. We have to show the custom pop-up. Okay, I will show you the error actually. So if I click on send message, okay, my bad, I will go to modules, network. I am not able to see network. Give me a while. Okay, network is here only. So if I just click on send message, so now you can see it is sending message to /send message, while it should send to /dev/send message, right? So what we have to do, I think we are kind of definitely we have to go here. You can find it here. So now we have to add /dev and /send message, right? So we are changing it, hard coding it on the basis of stage name inside the your rendering template, right? So what I will do, I will go here inside the lambda function only, open this contact.html, go to 140 line, and here we have to /dev/ save it, just deploy it. Okay, so it has been deployed. So I will going to close it. If I click on send message now, it should work. So again, okay, so I think it has not updated the template, so I will going to refresh it once. So I will just add test@gmail.com, and then after hello world. So at this time it should work. If I click on send message, so it says 400. Why it is saying devs bad request, the response is could not pass request body into JSON, could not pass. I think maybe the error is from I think some error is from the backend only. Okay, so maybe this is not an, I think, major issue. Might be it is something related to code only. So I think now this way, I think we mainly, I think the point is I wanted to show you the process to deploy it, and now I think you have the correct idea how you can deploy it. Okay, so if you have any queries or comment, you can post it out in the comment section. Thank you.